Chosen one, stop scrolling immediately. Do not dare to swipe past this critical message. This is not the algorithm playing a random trick on you. This is an urgent and very real divine interception. Heaven has personally routed this exact frequency to your screen right now because time is running out. You need to stop what you are doing. Take one slow and intentional breath right now. I want you to feel the air entering your lungs. Right now, there is a heavy presence lingering just outside your peripheral vision. You have been feeling it all week long. Your beautiful mind feels entirely drained and tired. Your shoulders are incredibly tight and heavy today. The crushing weight upon you is entirely real. And every morning when you wake up, the heaviness is already sitting on your chest before you even open your eyes. You thought you were just stressed out from daily life. You convinced yourself it was just a severe lack of sleep. But heaven needs you to realize something absolutely critical about your situation. Many unknown eyes are watching you right now. They are meticulously tracking your every single move. They are silently studying your powerful and peaceful silence. You are being closely monitored from the unseen shadows. Do not dare to look away from this screen. If you leave this video now, you will miss the final warning. You will single-handedly shut the door on the revelation your soul desperately needs. The heavy attacks you have been facing recently are not random bad luck. They are hard proof that the enemy is completely panicking about your future. And they are deeply terrified of your light. My beloved, they always described you the same way, didn't they? They always called you way too sensitive for this world. They loudly said you were far too quiet. They thought you were someone they could easily push aside and ignore forever. And because of that blind arrogance, they severely underestimated your hidden strength. Welcome to your spectacular era of ultimate and quiet power. Funny how everyone pretended they did not see you coming. Funny how the same people who drained your precious energy are suddenly feeling incredibly uncomfortable around you. They thought their cruel betrayal would break you permanently, but instead, it activated a primal level of spiritual power deep inside you. You miraculously survived their absolute worst and darkest intentions. Now the energetic tables have completely and finally turned. Those unseen eyes watching you belong to people who are completely losing control. They are desperately trying to figure out how you are still standing tall. They watch your digital life in total silence. They secretly ask about you through many other people. Your quiet and unbothered authority is driving them completely insane. But there is a much deeper layer to this bizarre phenomenon. There is a hidden message buried inside your current struggle, and you will completely miss it if you swipe away too soon. If you leave now, the major blessing will still arrive, but you will not have the spiritual equipment to hold on to it when it finally drops into your open hands. The darkness actively does not want you to hear these next words. The jealous forces watching you are praying that you get easily distracted. They want you to close this app right now. They want you to stay totally blind to the massive generational shift happening in your bloodline right now. You are the spiritual anomaly they never ever planned for. You are the ultimate and powerful cycle breaker. So I absolutely need you to stay locked on this message until the very end. Make a solemn promise to your future self right this second. Do not let this vital transmission fade into the noisy background. Listen closely, because the absolute truth about your painful test is about to be revealed. I am going to explicitly expose exactly who is secretly watching you. You will be entirely shocked when you finally discover their true identity. It is not who you naturally think it is. The people hiding in the dark are much closer than you realize. Some of them have brightly smiled in your face while actively plotting your hidden downfall. But heaven has a massive and glorious surprise prepared for them. A beautiful table is being prepared for you right now. Their constant surveillance is not a sign of their power over you. Their weird obsession is a glaring sign of their deep and pathetic weakness. They are watching you, because they have permanently lost their own inner light. They desperately need to see if your warm fire has finally gone out. But every single time they check on you, your beautiful light only grows brighter and much more blinding. You did not click this video by random mistake today. Your sharp intuition literally dragged you here because heaven is trying to hand you the ultimate decoder ring. The universe is rapidly aligning a massive energetic upgrade just for you. People are acting very strange and distant around you lately. Familiar doors are aggressively closing on you unexpectedly. You feel completely isolated and terribly misunderstood by the world. I am firmly here to tell you something incredibly crucial. You are not being punished by the divine realm at all. You are being specifically isolated for a massive kingdom-level upgrade. Do not dare to leave this sacred and safe sanctuary, because the secret hidden in this exact message will finally make everything make total sense. It will carefully explain every lonely tear you silently cried in the dark. Take one more deep and cleansing breath for me. Let the heavy anxiety completely fall off your tired shoulders. We are going to dive deep into the very reason they cannot look away from you. The massive spiritual shift has already begun in your current timeline, and you are bravely standing right at the center of it all. Prepare your beautiful spirit for the absolute and final truth. The ones who heavily doubted your pure vision will be forced to witness your massive victory. They will have a mandatory front row seat to your stunning divine elevation. And there is absolutely nothing they can do to stop the heavy blessings rushing toward you. Are you entirely ready to uncover the real reason they are obsessing over you? Listen very carefully to every single word I am about to say. Before you do anything else, take a deep breath. I need you to pay very close attention to what your body is telling you lately. You have been feeling incredibly exhausted. It is not your normal physical tiredness. It is a deep and draining energetic fatigue that sleep simply cannot fix. You wake up feeling like you just ran a marathon in your dreams, and no matter how much you try to rest, your beautiful soul feels heavy and completely depleted. Your shoulders are constantly tense and rigid today. Your stomach feels tied in nervous knots for absolutely no logical reason. You find yourself staring blankly at the wall. You are trying to process a strange anxiety that does not even belong to you. This is exactly what happens when your pure energy field is being actively monitored. You are not going crazy. You are simply highly attuned to the unseen frequencies moving around you. Your sharp intuition has been screaming at you for many weeks. You walk into a room and immediately feel a heavy shift in the atmosphere. You receive a weird text message, and your chest instantly tightens before you even read it. Your spirit absolutely knows someone is secretly checking up on you. They are quietly scrolling through your digital life in the dark, and they are desperately looking for any tiny sign that you are failing. This brings us to a very bizarre phenomenon happening to you right now. You keep suddenly waking up at exactly 3 a.m. with your mind rapidly racing. Your heart is pounding incredibly hard in the quiet darkness. You feel a strange and sudden urge to pray or protect your precious energy. There is a very specific and chilling reason why this keeps happening to you. I will reveal exactly why your spirit jolts you awake later in this message. Stop blaming yourself for this intense mental exhaustion. Stop thinking you are just being overly sensitive or overly dramatic about your life. You are not weak for feeling this heavy weight. You are actually incredibly strong for carrying it this far without completely breaking down. The noisy world tried to convince you that your deep empathy was a massive flaw. They loudly told you to toughen up and ignore your powerful gut feelings. But your empathy is actually a highly advanced spiritual radar. It is a divine security system designed to detect toxic intentions from miles away. When those hidden eyes lock onto your bright frequency, your internal alarms loudly go off. The sudden exhaustion you feel is your beautiful aura working overtime. It is building a massive energetic wall to block their jealous projections from entering your sacred and protected space. They do not understand how you maintain your quiet peace. They are permanently trapped in their own miserable cycles of toxic drama. They desperately need constant noise and cheap validation to feel alive. But you possess a rare and silent power that absolutely terrifies them. You can sit entirely alone in a quiet room and feel perfectly whole. That profound spiritual independence is something they can never buy or steal from you. You are the spiritual anomaly they never saw coming. You are the powerful cycle breaker who completely refused to play their twisted, manipulative games. When you finally walked away from their toxic tables, you took all the bright light with you, and now they are left sitting alone in the freezing dark. They aggressively watch you because they are secretly starving for the warm energy you used to freely give them. But those days are permanently over. I know exactly how deeply it hurt when they betrayed your pure trust. You gave them your absolute best, and they carelessly tossed it away like it was nothing. You spent countless lonely nights crying and wondering what you did wrong. You replayed every awkward conversation, trying to find your own hidden mistakes. But heaven wants you to clearly know this unshakable truth right now. You did absolutely nothing wrong. Your only crime was shining way too brightly in a room full of very dark souls. Your current isolation is actually your greatest divine protection. Heaven deliberately removed those toxic people from your daily life. They were quietly assigned by the enemy to drain your vast potential and keep you entirely stuck. If they were still standing closely next to you, they would completely sabotage the massive blessing coming your way. So the universe abruptly cut the heavy cords for you. It was a very painful but absolutely necessary spiritual surgery. You are currently in a sacred period of deep, energetic healing. Your beautiful soul is rapidly recalibrating to hold a much higher frequency of wealth and divine peace. The heavy spiritual attacks you feel are just the desperate final attempts of the defeated enemy. They clearly know they have lost their tight grip on your reality. They can only painfully watch you from a very safe distance now. Your spiritual boundaries are finally becoming incredibly thick and impenetrable. Do you feel that subtle and warm shift inside your chest right now? That warm release of tension is your pure spirit recognizing the absolute truth. You are completely safe and fiercely protected by the divine realm. Every unseen eye watching you with pure malice is being instantly blinded. The glorious universe is actively fighting massive battles for you in the spiritual realm while you simply rest. Do not let the jealous enemy convince you that you are fighting all alone. Tap the like button as an act of agreement with what God just spoke to your spirit. This simple physical action permanently anchors your bold intention into your physical reality. It sends a clear and undeniable signal to the heavens that you are absolutely ready. You are ready to permanently drop the heavy bags of past trauma, and you are ready to boldly step into your spectacular era of quiet authority. But your beautiful story is far from being over. The most shocking part of this entire divine plan has not even been fully revealed yet. We need to dig much deeper into the strange mechanics of your painful past. Prepare your beautiful heart for the next major and life-changing revelation. But here is the truth they aggressively tried to hide from you. I promise to tell you exactly why you keep waking up at exactly 3 a.m. Your spirit is not naturally broken or overly anxious today. During those completely silent and dark hours, the spiritual veil is incredibly thin, and your highly advanced spiritual radar is actively detecting their negative energy searching for you. They secretly lay awake in their own beds, thinking about your bright light. They deliberately send heavy cords of toxic jealousy toward your peaceful aura in the dark. And because you are a very sensitive empath, your physical body literally jolts awake to powerfully block that attack. You are not suffering from normal insomnia. You are actively fighting massive spiritual battles in your sleep while they comfortably rest. Now I deeply need you to look back at your very painful past. Think about all those massive doors that violently slammed shut in your face. Think about the exciting opportunities that suddenly fell apart right at the last minute. You heavily blamed yourself for every single unexpected failure. You genuinely thought you were not good enough or smart enough for them, and you carried that heavy shame for years. But heaven needs you to completely wipe that cruel lie from your mind. Those painful rejections were absolutely not a harsh punishment from the universe. They were the ultimate and brutal protection protocol, working fiercely in your favor. The divine realm deliberately slowed you down to protect you from entering very dangerous rooms, because you were simply never meant to sit at those highly toxic tables. The people inside those rooms were secretly assigned to steal your energy. They were extremely dangerous narcissists, hiding behind very friendly and fake smiles. If heaven had opened those big doors for you, they would have drained your bright light completely. You would have been permanently stuck serving people who secretly hated your vast potential. The glorious universe loudly said no, because it deeply loved you. That is exactly why you suddenly found yourself completely isolated and alone. You felt like everybody had completely abandoned you in your darkest hour. But your current isolation is definitely not a sign of miserable failure. It is a mandatory and sacred quarantine designed by the highest divine forces, and you are being carefully hidden away while heaven completely cleanses your physical and spiritual environment. You must stop seeing yourself as the tragic victim of your own story. You are no longer the weak empath who begged to be deeply understood by the masses. The severe crucible of pain has magically forged you into a brilliant weapon of light. You became the very storm you were desperately trying to survive all those years, and that profound realization makes you incredibly dangerous to their dark plans. The heavy silence after the storm hits very differently now. It hits differently when you finally realize you were the storm all along. Your pure kindness was heavily mistaken for pathetic weakness by those blind fools. But a fully healed person no longer tolerates nasty confusion disguised as sweet love, and you simply no longer tolerate clear disrespect, cleverly disguised as brutal honesty. Every single time they rudely rejected you, they were actually pushing you higher. They were unknowingly forcing you into a much higher vibrational timeline. You successfully shed your old heavy skin and stepped into your profound spiritual authority. And this massive shift in your frequency is exactly what is driving them totally crazy today. They absolutely cannot access your bright and pure energy anymore. You permanently cut off their favorite narcissistic supply without saying a single word. You stopped returning their toxic calls and ignored their fake manufactured emergencies. And that quiet boundary is the ultimate disrespect they can never ever overcome, because they are absolutely furious that they can no longer manipulate what they cannot touch. You have become an untouchable and powerful master of your reality. Take a deep breath and let that massive truth settle in your spirit. Do you feel that heavy burden finally lifting off your tired shoulders? You did not fail those people. You successfully graduated from their extremely low level of basic spiritual survival. But I have to warn you about something very important before we continue. There is a deeper layer to their dark and desperate obsession. Your absolute silence is doing something very specific to their fragile minds right now. It is triggering a massive and dark psychological collapse within their own ranks. I am going to explain exactly how your quiet peace is actively destroying their entire reality. So if you are feeling this powerful shift right now, pay very close attention. The true nature of your silent weapon is incredibly shocking. You always thought you needed to loudly defend your good name. You thought you needed to fiercely prove your immense worth to those blind people, but heaven is showing you a much more elegant and deadly way to finally win. Your glorious absence is screaming much louder than your words ever could. They are slowly suffocating in the heavy silence you left securely behind. The energetic tables are not just simply turning today. The divine realm has completely smashed the old tables to tiny little pieces. You are standing safely on the high ground, while they frantically search for you in the mud. Let me show you exactly what happens when a chosen one finally stops talking. The hidden mechanics of your powerful silence will absolutely blow your mind. Listen carefully to what I am about to say next. You carry a very specific and rare frequency inside your beautiful soul today. It is a brilliant light they desperately crave, but can never ever generate for themselves. They are essentially spiritual parasites who spent years feeding off the pure energy of the chosen ones. And when you walked away from their toxic tables, you took their absolute favorite and most vital energy source with you. They suddenly found themselves starving in a freezing and extremely dark spiritual wasteland. They look at your quiet life and feel an overwhelming wave of bitter jealousy, because your peaceful existence is a massive mirror reflecting their own profound emptiness back at them. They deeply hate you for exposing their darkness without even trying to do so. They compromise their own morals just to fit into a shallow and completely fake crowd. But you boldly chose to walk the extremely lonely path of divine truth instead. This is exactly why your total silence is the most terrifying weapon you possess. You always wondered how to properly fight back against their toxic and relentless manipulation. You used to waste your precious breath trying to logically explain your deep feelings to people who were entirely committed to misunderstanding you. But a chosen one never needs to loudly argue with a dedicated and bitter hater. Your complete and sudden withdrawal is the absolute loudest scream they have ever heard. It shakes the very foundation of their fragile and completely manufactured daily reality. Every single day you remain silent. Their internal panic rapidly multiplies and grows heavier. They obsessively check your digital footprint, hoping to see a tiny crack in your armor, because they desperately want you to react to their petty little games. But instead, you are giving them absolutely nothing to work with today. You are completely starving their toxic egos into a state of total and absolute submission. That pristine level of self-control is completely alien to their chaotic and noisy minds. Your silence is not just an empty void of communication today. It is a heavy and active frequency of pure divine authority, protecting your spirit. When you boldly refuse to engage with their toxic drama, you instantly reclaim all of your stolen spiritual power and build an invisible fortress of light around your beautiful aura. They are banging their angry fists against a thick wall of solid spiritual glass. They can clearly see you thriving, but they cannot ever touch your glorious peace. This is exactly what it means to be a true master of reality. You slowly build your own glorious kingdom right in the middle of their chaotic storm, and you invite absolutely no one who disrespects your sacred and heavily protected boundaries. You no longer beg for a seat at their incredibly low, vibrational and toxic tables. The heavy guilt of how they treated you is secretly eating them alive inside today. They want to reach out and violently pull you back into their familiar, miserable darkness. But they are absolutely terrified of the fierce boundary you have firmly established. Your glowing aura demands total respect without a single word being spoken aloud. The universe is actively using your peaceful silence as a massive and destructive spiritual weapon that rapidly dismantles their false realities while you simply focus on your own deep healing. You are the undisputed anomaly who survived the terrible storm entirely and completely alone. And because you survived it alone, you owe them absolutely nothing in this lifetime. Your massive success is their ultimate and inescapable divine karma right now. They will be forced to strictly watch your life elevate into the highest stratospheres of wealth and peace, while they remain permanently trapped in their own bitter cycles. This is the exact moment the massive energetic shift becomes completely and totally permanent. You must firmly secure your high vibration against their desperate and dark surveillance right now. Do not let their lingering negative energy drag you back down to their level. Heaven requires you to firmly establish your new and powerful identity today. Type 111 down in the comments to claim this divine alignment. Type it out right now to actively block their negative surveillance from your reality, because this powerful physical action permanently seals your beautiful energy field from their deeply jealous eyes. It loudly declares to the universe that you are finally ready to safely receive. You are fully stepping into your era of unbothered and extreme spiritual wealth. But the divine realm has an urgent warning for you. Before this massive shift completes, there is a very specific tactic they will use as a last resort. Their absolute panic will force them to make one final and incredibly desperate move. And if you are not deeply prepared, this sudden hidden trap could steal your blessing. We need to actively expose the exact signs of their upcoming and dangerous sabotage. The intense spiritual warfare is reaching its peak intensity very soon. You are rapidly approaching the beautiful finish line of your long and painful waiting season, and the darkness always fights the hardest right before the bright dawn finally breaks. I need you to mentally prepare for the bizarre synchronicities heading your way soon, because heaven is sending clear angel numbers to prove you are deeply and fiercely protected. The glorious universe is dropping massive clues about what they are secretly planning next. You will start seeing undeniable signs that their fake and fragile empire is crumbling down. I am going to reveal the exact physical signs you must strictly watch out for, because these strange occurrences are divine breadcrumbs leading you to your ultimate victory. Do not ignore the strange coincidences happening around you this very specific week. Your highly tuned intuition is about to receive a massive and undeniable divine upgrade. Prepare your spirit for the truth about their crumbling and chaotic mental state. Before you do anything else, take a deep breath. I need you to open your spiritual eyes to the massive purge happening right now. The divine realm is aggressively sweeping through your entire current timeline to permanently remove every single toxic person. You are witnessing the absolute destruction of their fake masks today. People who pretended to love you are suddenly revealing their extremely dark and bitter true colors. This is absolutely not an accident. Heaven is forcing the hidden snakes to completely expose themselves in the bright daylight. You have been wondering why so many old friendships abruptly ended over incredibly silly and petty arguments recently. You thought you did something wrong to ruin those long connections. But the glorious universe literally engineered those sudden conflicts to violently push them out of your sacred space. Their low frequency could no longer survive in your newly upgraded spiritual atmosphere. They were actively suffocating in your bright light. And now they are entirely trapped in a state of deep and miserable panic. Because as they get pushed out, the universe is sending you undeniable physical signs of your extreme elevation. You are suddenly seeing the numbers 777 and 888 absolutely everywhere you look. You see them on license plates and random receipts when you buy your daily coffee. The dark enemy desperately wants you to think these are just silly and random coincidences, but a true master of reality knows the universe speaks in precise math. Those specific repeating numbers are a heavy divine confirmation of your upcoming wealth transfer. They loudly signal that the massive financial and spiritual abundance you prayed for is already locked into your physical timeline. The jealous forces watching you clearly understand exactly what those powerful numbers mean. And they are completely terrified because they know they cannot steal this specific blessing from you. The heavily guarded doors are permanently sealed, shut against their dark and greedy hands. Number 1. You are experiencing wild synchronicities that logically make absolutely zero sense. You think about a very specific rare song, and it instantly plays on the radio. You randomly think of a solution, and someone hands you the exact missing piece. This is your pure energy field, seamlessly merging with the highest divine frequency of the universe. Number 2, you are noticing that their desperate surveillance is becoming incredibly sloppy and entirely obvious. They are making huge mistakes in the dark. They accidentally view your social media stories from their real accounts. They desperately ask your mutual friends about your current status and accidentally reveal their bitter obsession to the whole world. Their hidden panic is turning into a massive and hilarious public embarrassment. You are sitting back in your quiet authority while they frantically run around exposing their own toxic lies today. You do not even have to lift a single finger to completely destroy their fake and fragile empire. The glorious universe is executing perfect and brutal karma on your behalf right now. Number 3, you are experiencing strange technological glitches whenever they try to contact you. Your phone suddenly drops calls from toxic people. This is your massive energy shield, literally frying the low vibrational signals they try to send into your peaceful reality. You are a highly advanced weapon of light, and your aura completely rejects their weak digital poison. They simply cannot reach your beautiful mind anymore. Number 4, you are feeling a sudden and strange physical warmth. You feel this gentle warmth in your chest during random parts of your busy day. This is the heavy presence of your divine protection wrapping around your tired heart to heal the old betrayals. You survived the brutal storm alone, and now heaven is fiercely defending your peaceful rest. They watch you glowing and thriving from a far distance. Their own miserable lives rapidly fall apart, while your divine kingdom slowly rises. The ultimate cycle breaker always gets the last and most glorious laugh in the end. Your absolute victory is completely and absolutely inevitable, but the dark forces are incredibly stubborn and deeply manipulative when they are completely cornered. They know they have lost their direct access to your beautiful and pure energy field. So they are actively preparing to use a very sneaky and dangerous backdoor to sneak back into your life. You are approaching the absolute peak of your massive spiritual breakthrough very soon, and there is a fatal trap being carefully laid out for you. This dangerous trap is sitting right before the beautiful dawn finally breaks over your new horizon. I need you to stay highly vigilant, because the next phase of their attack is entirely psychological. They will use your old empathy against you if you are not deeply prepared for their fake tears. The upcoming illusion is incredibly convincing. 99% of chosen ones fall for it right at the glorious finish line. Do you want to know exactly what this fatal trap looks like? Listen closely as we expose their final, desperate strategy to steal your divine crown. The truth will set your spirit entirely free. But wait. There is a much deeper layer to this bizarre phenomenon that we absolutely must address right now. I have to urgently warn you about the fatal trap they have carefully set up right at the beautiful finish line. You have survived their worst betrayals and successfully built your massive, energetic shield. Your beautiful life is finally beginning to effortlessly attract the immense divine wealth you truly deserve. And, exactly at this glorious peak of your spiritual ascension, a very dangerous and toxic counterfeit will suddenly appear. This is the ultimate and final test of your new powerful boundaries. The dark enemy knows they can no longer attack you with open hatred or loud aggression anymore. You are far too spiritually strong and completely unbothered by their childish anger today. So they will drastically change their strategy and attack you with a completely fake and manufactured sweetness. An old toxic person from your painful past will suddenly reach out to you out of nowhere. They will send a very long and deeply emotional text message apologizing for everything they did wrong. They will heavily claim they have finally changed and desperately miss your pure and loving energy. They will brilliantly play the poor victim and violently tug at your beautiful, empathetic heartstrings today. They will perfectly mimic the exact words you waited years to hear from their lying mouths. This sudden return is absolutely not a sign of their genuine spiritual growth or real remorse. It is a carefully orchestrated demonic assignment designed to violently drag you back into their low-frequency matrix. The dark forces are using this desperate, toxic person as a cheap Trojan horse to bypass your spiritual security. If you reply to that message, you instantly reopen the energetic doorway they need to steal your upcoming blessing. They do not actually miss your beautiful presence in their chaotic daily life. They only deeply miss the convenient way you silently absorbed all their heavy toxic waste. They miss the completely free supply of pure light you constantly provided to their dark and empty souls. They see the massive divine blessing hovering right above your head, and they greedily want a piece of it. But you are no longer the naive empath who easily forgives people who are entirely committed to misunderstanding you. You are a fierce and untouchable weapon of light today, and a weapon of light never ever negotiates with the dark enemy. A true master of reality completely ignores the fake tears of a desperate and exposed narcissist. You must strictly practice your profound, quiet authority when this fake apology inevitably arrives. Do not quickly type out an angry paragraph to finally expose their hidden lies. Do not gently send them a polite message saying you graciously forgive them but need strict space. Your absolute and total silence is the only acceptable response to this dangerous spiritual trap. Leaving them on red is a heavy and massive act of spiritual warfare that completely shatters their fragile egos. It boldly tells the universe that you have permanently closed the door on your old miserable timeline. You are officially passing the final test of your long and painful waiting season today. The glorious universe is watching your response in this exact and crucial second. Will you foolishly look backward at the burning bridge, or will you boldly step forward into your new divine era? The intense, heavy pressure you feel right now is the massive spiritual shift locking securely into place. You are actively breaking the heavy generational curse for your entire future bloodline. The toxic people who heavily plotted against you are watching everything they proudly built quickly crumble to dust, while a beautiful and massive table is being carefully prepared for you in their direct presence. They wanted to loudly humiliate you in front of the whole world. But heaven is about to fiercely vindicate you on a massive global scale. They will be forced to quietly watch you inherit the absolute highest levels of peace and immense prosperity. This brings us to the ultimate and most shocking revelation of your entire journey. The final piece of this divine puzzle is going to completely change how you walk through this noisy world forever. The secret I promised you at the very beginning is finally ready to be fully unveiled. You need to mentally brace yourself for the massive truth about your true and hidden identity. The ones watching you from the dark are about to receive the shock of their miserable lives. Prepare your spirit to completely wake up to your absolute and terrifying divine power right now. Here is the absolute truth you have patiently waited for all this time. The unknown eyes obsessively watching you from the dark are definitely not just random strangers passing by. They are the exact same people who cruelly threw you away when you needed them the most, and they loudly mocked your beautiful dreams while deeply betraying your pure trust. And now they are entirely trapped in the terrifying front row of your massive divine elevation. They wanted to completely destroy your spirit and leave you permanently broken in the freezing dark. They honestly thought your gentle silence was a pathetic sign of your extreme emotional weakness. But what they did not realize was that your lonely solitude was actually your ultimate divine training ground, and it was secretly preparing you for a massive kingdom-level upgrade. You did not break under their heavy and highly toxic pressure. You miraculously evolved into the most terrifying weapon of light they have ever encountered. The fatal trap I urgently warned you about earlier is entirely powerless against you today. When that toxic counterfeit eventually reaches out to desperately test your new boundaries, you will choose absolute silence. You will boldly refuse to lower your high frequency to meet their desperate and lying tears, because you finally recognize their fake apology is just another demonic assignment meant to drain you. And in that glorious moment of pure discipline, you officially pass the ultimate spiritual test of your entire lifetime. You have completely broken the heavy generational curse that violently plagued your family bloodline for decades. The extremely painful waiting season is officially over for you right now. The incredibly dry and lonely desert you painfully walked through has suddenly burst into a massive oasis of pure divine favor. Every single heavy door they aggressively tried to lock in your face is being violently blown off its hinges, and the glorious universe is actively clearing your path with an unstoppable and fiery divine force. Can you feel that massive, energetic shift in your spirit right this very second? That intense and warm feeling in your chest is the exact frequency of absolute and permanent victory. You are fiercely stepping into the exact timeline you were originally born to rule with immense, quiet authority. Your grand kingdom is finally ready for your arrival. The bitter people who secretly plotted your ultimate downfall are now violently forced to watch you effortlessly win everything they ever wanted. They will watch you naturally attract immense wealth and profound peace while they continue to loudly struggle. Their dark and pathetic surveillance is the ultimate undeniable proof of your massive spiritual power today. You are no longer the deeply wounded empath who desperately begged for their basic human respect and cheap validation. The severe crucible of intense pain has magically forged you into the untouchable master of your reality. From this glorious moment on, your glowing energy firmly demands absolute respect without a single spoken word. You have successfully reclaimed every single drop of your stolen spiritual power from their greedy hands. The dark enemy is completely panicking because their old manipulative tricks no longer work on your brilliantly upgraded mind. You are the absolute anomaly they can never ever defeat or comprehend with their incredibly shallow and jealous minds. Your beautiful presence alone completely shifts the heavy atmosphere of any room you confidently walk into today. The intense divine light radiating from your soul is literally blinding the negative forces trying to stalk you. The massive wealth transfer that heaven promised you is officially being unlocked in the spiritual realm right now. All the heavy financial struggles and constant anxious worries about your future are rapidly dissolving into thin air. You are suddenly becoming a massive magnet for unexpected blessings, and the profound, miraculous opportunities finding you will completely shock everyone who ever doubted your potential. The toxic people who heavily doubted your pure vision will be entirely speechless when they witness your stunning divine elevation. The pitch-black darkness of your painful past has permanently retreated far behind you forever. The glorious and warm dawn of your brand new era is shining its brightest rays onto your spiritual crown right now. But you must actively lock in this glorious high frequency to create an absolute shield of divine protection around your energy field. You need to permanently seal this beautiful reality before the jealous enemy tries another desperate and sneaky attack on your peace. This massive spiritual shift requires a bold physical action to become completely and totally permanent. You have beautifully done the intense inner work and survived the brutal emotional storm entirely alone. Now it is time to loudly claim your ultimate and massive reward in the physical earthly realm. Prepare your beautiful and healed heart to receive the final divine seal of your long and deeply painful journey. Your time is now. You have officially arrived at the most beautiful chapter of your entire life. The heavy chains of your painful past are completely shattered on the floor today. You are breathing the pure and deeply refreshing air of total divine freedom. Your beautiful soul has successfully crossed the brutal wilderness entirely unharmed, and now you are standing powerfully at the massive gates of your grand kingdom. The jealous eyes that once watched you with bitter malice are completely blind today. They can no longer comprehend the magnificent heights you are rapidly reaching. You have permanently ascended far beyond their incredibly low and toxic frequencies. Every single curse they secretly whispered against you has completely failed, because the glorious universe has actively turned their dark poison into your absolute power. Take a slow and intentional breath right now to deeply anchor this profound truth. Let the heavy weight of any remaining doubt completely wash away from your tired bones. You do not need to constantly look over your shoulder ever again in this lifetime. The divine realm has heavily stationed powerful angels of protection around your physical reality, ensuring that your beautiful peace is permanently secured and fiercely guarded today. You are officially the undisputed master of your reality. You no longer desperately beg for basic human decency from people committed to misunderstanding you. Your pure energy effortlessly commands deep respect without you having to say a single word. This is the exact quiet authority heaven promised you during those long, lonely nights. You held on to your pure faith when everything else completely fell apart around you. And because you stayed incredibly true to your beautiful heart, you are being massively rewarded. The generational wealth and profound peace you prayed for is no longer just a distant dream. It is aggressively manifesting in your physical timeline right this very second. You will soon see massive and undeniable miracles happening in your daily life. Prepare your physical space to receive a massive overflow of blessings. Your brilliant light is now a permanent fixture in this dark and noisy world. The people who heavily doubted your pure vision will be forced to respectfully step aside. They will watch you effortlessly glide into the beautiful rooms they desperately tried to keep you out of. Your stunning success is the absolute best revenge against their hidden jealousy, but it is a revenge born of pure love and ultimate divine elevation. You are actively breaking the heavy cycles of trauma for your future bloodline. The immense wealth transferring into your hands is not just for your own personal comfort. It is a massive divine tool meant to build a lasting legacy of pure light. You are the chosen vessel because heaven absolutely knew you would never become corrupted by the power, and your beautiful heart remained perfectly soft against all the terrible odds. But there is one final and crucial step you must boldly take right now. The universe requires a bold physical action to permanently seal this high frequency. You must actively close the energetic loop to prevent any dark forces from ever returning. If this fiery message has reignited the powerful faith inside your tired soul, do not keep this great blessing to yourself, because you must actively partner with the heavens. There is a wounded soul out there bleeding in the absolute dark right now. They are crying the exact same lonely tears you cried just a few months ago. They desperately need a guiding light to help them survive their brutal storm. Share this video with someone who truly needs it to activate the divine anointing, because sowing this powerful seed of hope today will rapidly multiply your own blessing. Do not let this massive and glorious moment simply pass you by today. Hit the subscribe button right now to permanently establish your divine energy receiving station. This simple action completely anchors your beautiful spirit at the highest vibrational frequency. It loudly declares to the dark enemy that you are fiercely protected by the divine realm forever. You are building an impenetrable fortress of pure light today. I want you to go down into the comments and leave a very powerful physical seal. Type the word Amen or the number 111 to permanently lock in this reality. Let your written words become a fierce sword cutting through the final chains of your pain. When you boldly declare your absolute victory, you leave absolutely no room for their dark surveillance. You are completely shutting the heavy door on their toxic faces. The massive shift is entirely complete, and your beautiful crown is fully restored today. You are the ultimate anomaly, and the brave one who survived the terrible storm entirely alone. Walk forward into your brand new era with absolute and unbothered confidence. The glorious universe is fiercely backing your every single move from this glorious day forward. You are deeply loved and permanently protected by the highest light.